Hi everybody, it is Julie and I am back with another 12 days of giveaway video as well as setting some reading goals for 2020. So let's jump right into it. I know a lot of people right now are setting a whole bunch of goals for 2020. They want channel growth, they want engagement, they want this, they want that, they want to read X amount of books during the year. I am not personally setting any of those. I kind of always set my Goodreads to a solid 100. I set it at 100 because I know I'll read 100 books and then I don't have to worry. I can just enjoy the things I'm reading. But this year I do want to make sure that with ALA in late January, with BEA and ALA books still kind of hanging around, I want to make sure that I am reading my backlist. So this is a goal setting video specifically for my backlist titles that have been sitting on my shelves that I really want to read. Will they all be 5-star? Maybe not, but I need to know one way or another so that I can either get them off my shelves or add them to favorites. I have 20 books sitting next to me that I absolutely want to get to this year. I'm not taking no for an answer anymore. I did pretty good recently at reading some backlists like Girl Made of Stars or books that have just been sitting around too long, but there are more. There are a ton more, and I need to finally get to them. So that's what this video is. If you're interested in seeing the 20 books that I want to get to in 2020 to get them off my backlist shelves and titles, then stay tuned. Also, at the end of this video, there will be a giveaway, so stay tuned for that as well. They're not separated by genre. They're not separated by anything other than these are books I want to read. I would like to read An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. This is one that I know people love. You 5-star this. I've heard so many people say that this is their favorite. I've seen readathons for it that I just couldn't join. I need to know what this book is. I need to know my thoughts on it. I need to know where I stand. I really am intrigued by it. I just have not gotten to it yet. We will check in at the end of 2020, but this is one that I better read in 2020. So Julie of the future, if you have not read this, shame. Get your life together. It's a book outlet purchase that I bought forever and ever ago. It is Beware the Wild by Natalie C. Parker. And it is a lovely modern fairy tale as tangled and dark as the swamp it lurks in, American myth at its very best. This one is, like I said, I think it's Louisiana swamps. It is a mystery, but also a fantasy. It is dark. It seems like I'm going to love it. I just need to read it. I have not heard anybody talking about it. I haven't looked at reviews for it, but I'm intrigued and I want to know more. Natalie C. Parker has moved on to other things, and I know that this is like a supernatural YA, which has kind of fallen out of favor, but I am still really into it, and I want to know what I think about it. This is a 2014 release, so by 2020, it's 6 years old and I haven't gotten to it yet. Then we have Iona Andrews. This is Magic Bites. It is a Kate Daniels novel. Here's the thing. Iona Andrews is an author that you guys tell me over and over again that I need to read. It is a writing duo. I think it's a husband and wife. I'm not 100% sure. This is like an urban fantasy series. I'm an urban fantasy writer. I love urban fantasy. The Hollow series is urban fantasy. I have all of these urban fantasy loves in my life, and I still have not read Iona Andrews. I haven't read this book. It has been sitting on my shelf for a very long time. I also think that this is a book outlet book that I just found randomly on there. So I need to see how I feel about it, if I want to continue with it. If I do, I feel like it's going to become an obsession. I'm fine with that, but I need to know one way or another. It's been way too long. This book terrifies me, but I need you to hold me accountable. And if anybody wants to do a buddy read for this, please let me know, because this has to happen. It is A Little Life. Hanya Yanagihara. My mouth doesn't want to form those syllables. I know it's heartbreaking. It is a chunker. This thing has got to be over 700 pages. It's 800 plus pages. Absolutely a tome topple, kind of a tackle, but I know this is going to break my heart, and I love those kinds of books. I love immersive stories. I know I'm gonna love this. I just haven't picked it up because I have this feeling that if I pick this up, it's gonna be like the one thing I read, or it's gonna send me into an emotional spiral, and then what my wrap up is going to be so boring. I really genuinely want to read it, and I need to be able to make time for these things without worrying about booktube content so that I can enjoy books that I'm really excited about. I might have a 1-book month, but I want to read this. So if you're also interested, you've not read it or you want to reread it, let me know, because this is one that I am mad at myself for putting off, because I've put it off specifically only because I'm afraid I won't have enough booktube content if I read it. and that's not good enough for me. I want to read this. Chelsea's note literally says that it's going to just make me sob, so maybe it'll be a crying vlog. Then we have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This one is pretty polarizing. You either love it or you hate it. I'm not big on Shakespeare, so I feel like I may not love it, but it's one that's been on my shelves for a very long time, and I need to just make a decision if I'm keeping it or not. I did get this at the Strand the first time I went to New York with Amber a very long time ago, and I still haven't read it, so I need to figure out how I feel about it, again, one way or another, and decide if it's staying on my shelves or not, because it's tiny, but it's still taking up room, and I don't know if I need it. The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. This one's by Gabrielle Zevin. I have read Jane Young by Gabrielle Zevin and really enjoyed it, and it features a bookstore. How would I not love this? And how has it been sitting on my shelves this long and still gone unread? There's just no reason I haven't read this yet, and I need to just remedy that. Ugh. Then we have two books that are kind of similar-esque. We have We Are Lost and Found by Helene Dunbar, which is a 2019 release. It's not like this has been out for forever. And also Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. They're gorgeous. They both center around the AIDS epidemic. I believe both in New York. I think. Yes, New York and New York. I almost want to do a reading vlog of the two of these together and see how they compare, but they are both following the AIDS epidemic in New York. I believe this one is in the late 80s. I don't know about this one, the time frame on it, but I think they're important stories to tell. I believe Chelsea read this and enjoyed it, but I think that combined, these would be great ones to read and just kind of see my thoughts on them. And I'm very intrigued by the topic. I don't want these to sit and become a book that's like a 2014 release I haven't read yet, because I really want to know how I feel about these. I really like these covers. They're speaking to me. I want to read them. Then we have The Hello Girls. This one is by Brittany Cavallero and Emily Henry. Emily Henry's writing has been a little bit iffy for me. Brittany I've never read from before, but I do know that this surprised a couple people. It's kind of like a Thelma and Louise style story, and I think that a lot of people went into it thinking it was just going to be kind of like fluffy, but I think a lot of people ended up really, really enjoying it. And I'm curious to see where I stand. It is a book of the month book, and it's taken up some room. These are tall, big books. So I want to see if this is one that I need to keep or not. And I'm curious to see if I also end up loving it. I have a feeling I will. I think it's going to be the right kind of like kitsch and the right kind of emotional punch. I think I will end up really liking that. So book number 10 is going to be The Reckless Oath We Made. This one is by Bryn Greenwood, who also wrote All the Ugly and Wonderful Things, which is incredibly dark and very disturbing, but one of my favorite books of all time. It covers a lot of things that are very hard to read about, but in a way that's very beautiful and that stays with you. And I really enjoyed personally, and I'm curious to see what I think about this one. I think this one is less hard-hitting and like disturbing and more romance-centered. So we've got our main character who's dealing with a housebound mother. She has a lot of stressors, a lot of obligations, and then I think she meets somebody who's a knight at one of the medieval shows and they fall in love. My camera overheated a skosh, but we are back again. But knowing Bryn Greenwood's other works, I really did like her writing style, so I'm excited to see how I feel about this particular contemporary. Also, Starfish by Kemi Dawn Bowman. I have this and also Summerbird Blue, and I haven't read anything by her before, but I am very excited to get to this. I know it's some people's favorites, and I also know that it just rips your heart out. This is one that I wanted to get to in the last weekend edition of the Contemporary-a-thon because it would have fit my crying theme, but I never got to it. I never picked it up. So here's hoping I can get to this one at some point soon. Not here's hoping. I'm gonna get to it in 2020. That's my goal. Then we have The Beast is an Animal. This one is by Petronelle Van Arsdale. I've heard nobody talk about this, but I found it on Book Outlet because the cover is gorgeous. It follows soul eaters and a girl who sees soul eaters in the forest and has this secret about herself, and it's kind of explains the reason why she's so afraid, but it is for sure a fantasy. I just don't know very much about it, but I am so intrigued. Whenever I see this on my shelves, I remember I really want to read it. Here's the one book that I think at the end of 2020 may not be read, and I'm putting it on here to hold myself accountable because I just need to know one way or another. if I'm going to be reading this series. This is part of the Witcher series. This is book 1 or like .01. I think this is novellas that prequel the actual story, but I need to figure out if I want to involve myself in the world of Witcher. I know that there's a show coming out. People are diehard for this, and I just don't know how I feel because I haven't gotten into it yet, and I feel like it's something I could potentially enjoy, but who knows? This one is by Andrzej Sapkowski. Listen, me and words. I also know it's a pretty large series, so if I get invested, I'm gonna be really truly invested. I need to commit, or I need to like just realize it's not for me and put it aside and be okay with that too. But one way or another, I need to know. Parasite by Myra Grant. I am really trying to get through the backlist of all of Sean McGuire and Myra Grant's work. I'm pretty dang close, but I do have this. This is not a part of the Flesh News series. This is a different one. This one is Parasite Symbiote, I think, is the second book. I have that down there too. And this one is a medical thriller. It's a futuristic medical thriller. I'm here for it. I think the medicine makes you sick as opposed to keeping you well, which is too real. But also, yeah, I don't know a ton about it except for it's Myra Grant, and I want to be reading more Myra Grant, and I want to know her whole backlist. I just like to keep up with her. I'm intrigued by her brain. Then we have another current-ish release. This one is a late 2019 release that I don't want to sit too long. This is House of Salt and Sorrows. This is by Aaron A. Craig. This is one of the Crate exclusive covers. It is signed. I just need to know if I need to keep it or not. This one is one that is a 12 Dresses retelling. It's apparently very atmospheric and very spooky and really, really cool. And a lot of people that I've heard that have read this have actually really, really enjoyed it. So I just need to figure out how I feel about it and then make a decision on whether or not I'm keeping it. I'm really actually pretty excited about this. When it first came out, I was like, I am not intrigued about this book at all. But the more people started talking about it, the more hype I got for it. Which is great. I mean, that's a good sign, right? Speaking of Crate books, The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones, who also wrote The Bone Houses, which I have not read yet, and I want to. That was a 2019 release. This one is, it might be her debut. I don't know. It came out a while ago. I'm on chapter 3. I did a first chapter with this and really enjoyed it, but it's not the one that I ultimately picked, and I really want to know how I feel about it. I've heard people read this and really liked it, and I think it's a pretty accessible fantasy. I'm excited to see what I think about it. I just need to make some time for it, and I do want to make sure I'm reading my backlist, book of the month, Crate, LitJoy Crate. I want to make sure I'm reading my subscription books, so this is one I definitely want to get to. And when I was doing my unhauls and other things, it never even kind of came up as one that I might want to get rid of. I want to read it first, so. The same could be said for Before She Ignites by Jodi Meadows, whom I enjoy their writing. I just have not read this one yet, which is ridiculous because it's a gorgeous cover. It's about dragons. This is an exclusive cover. It is signed. I don't know. I feel like it came out and then I never heard very much about it. But I know that it had a sequel, and I know that I don't know if it's a trilogy or a duology, but I want to know how I feel about this book. It's been out for a very long time, and I still have not read it, so it's time to shit or get off the pot with this one. And I am intrigued by the dragons and the fantasy and just the whole, like, vibe of this book. Speaking of time to read that one, Roar by Kara Carmack. This one, I have the sequel, Rage. I got the arc. I never read the arc in time for the release because I had never read Roar. This one follows storm magic, and I'm very here for that. I'm very intrigued by it. It's kind of all I know. It's a unique fantasy and an alluring romance. Give it to me. This one is one that I think Chelsea Palmer really, really loves, and I think that it could be one that I potentially really love. I just need to find out. So it's time to read that because I also have the arc. I've got book 2. I just need to get to book 1. We're down to my last 2 books, guys. We have Blood Magic by Tessa Gratton, which has made it onto a couple of TBRs and never actually got read. I really love Tessa Gratton's Strange Grace, and I want to read more from her, but I don't know that Queens of Innislear is what I should start with right after Strange Grace, because I'm not very much of a historical reader, and that is a King Lear retelling, gender swap retelling. But Blood Magic, I think I can get behind. It's like a YA witchy book, and this one I think I could be down for. I also have this sequel to this, like the one after it. I don't know if it's just a duology. I think it's probably more than that. But Who knows? It was blurred by Maggie Stiefvater. I like Tessa Gratton's writing. I'm excited to see what I think about this. I just need to stinking read it, and I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy it. And then we have one last book, but my battery is dying, and that is The Turn by Kim Harrison, which is a prequel novel to the Hollow series. I've owned this for a very long time. Have not read it yet. It is sinful that I have not read this yet. I love Kim Harrison. I love this series, and I need to read this book. Another angle change because I had to switch out my battery, but The Turn is one that I need to get to, especially because Kim Harrison is now expanding on the Rachel Morgan series. There will be more books that follow after the Hollow series ends, and I want to get to this one, which is before the Hollow series begins. Anything Kim Harrison, anything Rachel Morgan, anything the Hollows, I need to read. I have the receipt in here. Oh my gosh. I got this on November 8th of 2017. I've had this over 2 years at this point and still have not read it, and I call myself a fan of Kim Harrison and the Hollow series. What am I doing with my life? This needs to be read. It will be read soon because I refuse to let this go unread at this point. This one will probably be one of the first ones that I read because I'm just mad at myself for not reading this. This is the last of the 20 backlist books that I really want to get to in 2020. I don't want them to just sit. I want to know where I stand on them. Some of them are polarizing. Some of them are authors I've enjoyed in the past. Some of them are ones I'm nervous about. For whatever different reason, these are ones that I just they're calling to me. I want to read them. These are the ones that I need to get to. I will also say I'm seeing that a lot of these are fantasy. A lot of my backlist has been fantasy lately because I've been grabbing for contemporary because I feel like they're easier to consume when I'm busy writing or I'm busy doing other things. But I want to be diving back into fantasy stronger in 2020. So we'll call that one of my goals. Now let's go to the clip of my giveaway, which is for something that is goal-oriented. It is Giveaway Julie, back with a new giveaway. I have for you a bag full of goodies if you are a US resident, because I will be shipping this to you. So let's dive right in. First up, the big ticket item is, this is the Owl Crate planner. So if you are not an Owl Crate subscriber, but you've been looking for a planner to help you track all of your bookish reads, this could be a great option for you. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I'm jealous because I want to use this, but I know I won't. I have not used the one from last year that they gave us, even though that one was fantastic. And if I needed to, I could. I also have a Clever Fox journal that I could be using more, and I'm not. I know myself, I won't use this. I want somebody else to use it. So if you were interested, this is the magical monthly reading planner that was designed by Owl Crate. Inside, you do have month-long spreads. You also have a book wish list, a monthly TBR, pages where you have a weekly planner, pages for book reviews. There's a page for favorite quotes and your monthly wrap up, which gives you total books read, genres read, total pages read, favorite book, least favorite book, books you did not finish. And then there are pages for notes, just anything that you have that you want to discuss. This could be great for planning videos. It could be great for planning blog posts, for social media posts, or just keeping track of your books. Now, none of the months or the weeks in here are labeled, so you can put your own dates on this and use it as you want, which is why I can still use last year's for another 4 years because I never use it. But I want somebody to. These are just too beautiful, too fantastically made to not use. And she's thick. Like, there's a lot in here that you can actually really utilize, and I hope one of you will. I also have a couple other little goodies in here that I think you might really enjoy. A super cute Owl Crate keychain. This one is by Four Season Fox. This is the Haku Dragon keychain. It is very, very cute. A little sheet of stickers here that say Happy Holiday that would be great for your planner. These guys are super cute. I don't know who they are, but they could absolutely go into your little planner as well. And then I will be including the Owl Crate stickers that they gave us with the planner. So these are by Pipsticks, and these are forest stickers as well as Owl Crate theme stickers. Those would be great with the planner. And then I'm also including this metal bookmark. This is a quote from Naomi Novik. It says, "There was a song in the forest too, but it was a savage song, whispering of madness and tearing and rage." That is what that looks like. So if you want to try to win that giveaway, all you need to do is be a US resident, be 18 years or older, or have permission to give me your address. You need to be subscribed to my channel. Make sure your subscriptions are public so I can double check that you're actually subscribed, and leave me a comment down below letting me know that you want to be entered, as well as a way to get in touch with you, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, email, some way that I can contact you and let you know that you are the winner. That is it. That's all you need to do. I will be contacting the winner through whatever vehicle they leave me down below. It will not be in a video, so you're gonna have to just pay attention to your DMs, make sure you're checking. That is it for this portion. Back to Prior Julie. All right, guys, I'm really excited to see who could potentially win that planner gift set. I think that it will be fantastic for planning out your 2020 and your goals as well. But that's going to be it for this particular video. Let me know which one of these you're most excited for. If you want to buddy read any of these, I'm down for buddy reads in 2020. But these are the 20 books that I want to get to. My backlist titles that 2020 must see me reading. If you're interested in any of these, excited about any of these, have thoughts or opinions on any of these, let me know in a comment down below. I love talking to you down there. All of my social media links are listed in the description box, so check those out. All the rules for the giveaways will also be down there. And that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.